Hello, AGM Retail Pros, and welcome back to the Fairway to Retail Success. I'm your host, Justine Gray, the Director of Membership and Education at the Association of Golf Merchandisers. And today we have an incredible guest joining us, Emily Gifford, a distinguished retail leader with a track record of success in high volume, multi outlet golf retail. As the director of retail at Boca West Country Club in Boca Raton, Florida, the nation's #1 private residential club, Emily oversees a dynamic retail operation serving 7,000 members across multiple shops, including golf, rackets, boutique, and resort style outlets. Her expertise in buying, merchandising, and customer service has helped drive impressive sales growth while elevating the overall shopping experience. With past experiences at prestigious clubs, including Liberty National Golf Club and Plainfield Country Club, both in New Jersey, Emily brings invaluable insights into what makes a golf shop truly thrive. Not only is Emily a 2025 recipient of the AGM Top 10 Best of the Best Platinum Awards and an AGM member since 2006, but she was also the 2019 South Florida Section PGA Merchandiser of the Year Award recipient at Boca West. And while at Plainfield Country Club, the 2004 New Jersey PGA Section Merchandiser of the Year Award recipient. In this episode, we'll dive into Emily's approach to retail success, from curating a compelling merchandise mix to building strong member engagement and adapting to industry trends. So let's get started. Emily, thank you so much for being here today. Your leadership at Boca West is inspiring, and I can't wait to hear your insights on what makes a golf retail operation excel.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
So I know I covered a little bit of your background in our intro, but we love to ask our guests, how did your career in golf retail begin and what led you to your current role at Boca West?
I grew up playing golf in Ottawa, Canada, and when it came time to graduate high school, I decided that I wanted to be in the golf and private club environment. And I found out that there were professional golf management colleges in the United States. I chose to go to New Mexico State University, which to me is the best university that offers this program. Went through the PGM program, graduated, and although I had aspirations of being a head golf professional one day, I was always the girl stuck in the shop, creating displays and really diving into the merchandising aspect. And I realized that's where my true passion was. So I ended up accepting a position at Plainfield Country Club as their golf shop manager. That was definitely a traditional golf shop manager role. Plainfield Country Club is obviously a top 100 private country club. The golf shop is owned by the head golf professional. That was definitely a traditional golf shop manager's position. And the one thing I realized at Plainfield is because Scott owned the golf shop, obviously his livelihood depended on the success of the golf shop. From day one, I treated that golf shop as if it was my own business, obviously because he depended on the success of the shop. And I really realized then that my passion really laid in merchandising and creating displays and buying and curating relationships with the members and helping out with outings. And a couple of seasons later, Liberty National Golf Shop opened up and an opportunity arose for me to go work for the Fireman family at Liberty as their retail operations manager. And this opportunity was attractive because it was the new vision of golf, going from one super traditional country club to cutting edge, brand new, modern golf club was exciting, as well as being able to start the retail operation from the ground up. And obviously taking part in the Fireman family's vision of creating this uber luxurious golf club was really exciting. And eventually that led me to Boca West Country Club, where I accepted a position as director of retail. And I always say that I would not be at Boca West if I had not been at Liberty or at Plainfield. So that's where I am today.
Amazing. I always love hearing everyone's journey and the types of places that folks worked at. So that's incredible. So how was that shift going from a pro-owned shop to a club-owned golf shop? How did that transition and your perspective change?
Honestly, No matter which shop I've ever worked in, I've always treated it as a business.
Mhm.
Obviously, member service is always going to be at the forefront, but obviously, if you always treat the pro shop operation as a business, the transition should be easy. Obviously, with Scott owning the shop, he had his own policies and procedures, and then going to a member owned or a club owned pro shop, that's different because all the policies and procedures are mandated by the club and the members.
Definitely. So I know something that's been in your environment at Boca West the last several years is seeing a shift in the membership demographic post-COVID with a new, younger, more transient membership, maybe folks who are going back and forth from Florida to up north or traveling and whatnot. How has that shift in your membership demographic influenced your purchasing?
Pre-COVID, 60% of our golf shop soft goods sales were in women's wear
Mhm.
and 40% were in menswear. Post-COVID, that has completely changed. It's almost flipped the other way. Pre-COVID, all of our members used to come down and they would stay for the entire golf season, which is 6 to 7 months, and then they would go back up north.
Right.
However, with hundreds of new members joining the club post-COVID, our new members are still working.
Mhm.
They're traveling back and forth between the Northeast or other parts of the world. Down here, they might only come down for one weekend a month. And when they are down here, Boca West has so many wonderful amenities that they're utilizing all of the amenities across the club. Back in the day, golf was the only game in town at Boca West. It was golf and tennis. Today, Boca West offers so much more than just golf and tennis. We have our fitness center, our spa, our brand new aquatic center. There's so many different member events going on that when the members are here, they want to enjoy every aspect of the club.
Mhm.
Because of that, we don't have that core membership coming in every day and saying, what's new? What can I buy next? We have so many new members that the challenge was in trying to engage the members, because if they're only coming down for maybe one weekend a month, you're really not getting to know them that well and learning their preferences and what they're looking for. Our challenge laid in really observing them, reaching out to them personally, really trying to get to know them, even though they're here for such a short amount of time. And obviously coming up with our merchandise assortment tailored to that. The best part about Boca West is I always say that we're not a cookie cutter club when we're placing our orders for the season. We have members of all different shapes and sizes, and everybody loves all different types of brands. So we're able to carry a variety of merchandise, a very diverse assortment of merchandise for our members. So it makes the buying really fun. And the members love that. They like to have a nice packed shop with variety.
Awesome. That's terrific. And with your members splitting their time between Florida and their northern homes or other places that they're traveling to, do you have any ways that you keep them engaged with your retail offerings even when they're not on site there at the club?
We do, obviously, just like many other clubs, we use email blasts and we use our website to promote our new arrivals. However, we've determined that the most engaging way is using social media reels and creating video advertisements for the different brands that we carry in our shop. So we actually use our retail staff as models, and they absolutely love putting together these advertisements for our members. They're actually filming one right now as we speak. So to me, members want to see, they don't want to just get an email blast saying new arrival, Peter Millar. They want to see the actual outfits on people. They want to see models. And the social media reels have definitely been the best way for us to reach those members, whether they're here at the club or whether they're in New York.
Yes, and the golf shop staff as models is always a fun conversation starter when the membership season, whatever format it might be of using the staff as models is always fun.
Mhm.
Can you tell us a little bit about your footwear fitting days? How has this event transformed having a traditional shoe sale or shoes available?
So every season we host 4 to 5 fitting days. And the reason why we do that is rather than receiving our shipment of footwear at the beginning of the season and displaying them and maybe sending out a few email blasts or social media reels, We like to bring in the sales reps and have a professional footwear sales rep here to actually, explain the last of the shoes and the different product features and benefits of their footwear line to the members. Obviously, it gives the brands more credibility having the sales reps here. Our members absolutely love our fitting days. We set them up either on the driving range or outside the golf shop. And hosting these fitting days has led us to sell over 800 pairs of shoes a season.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
incredible. Yes, that's awesome. Definitely a different approach. What advice would you give to other golf retailers who are looking to implement a similar, almost a try before you buy event, if not with shoes, maybe with a different category of merchandise? What has really made them successful?
Definitely reach out to your sales representative. Every brand that you bring into your golf shop is a partnership between you and that company. And I think it's really important for the sales reps to come in and actually experience your golf shop operation, because every golf shop is different. Every membership is different. Every club is different. And if the sales reps are able to come in and actually spend a few hours with you promoting their brand, they really gain a better understanding of what's working and what is not working within each club. And I think it just, like I said, it just adds more credibility to that brand hosting that sales rep at your club.
Mhm. Yeah, that's a great point. It's a benefit for both ends, both for the retailer and the members to get to experience, and for the vendor partner to get that buy-in and help build that brand loyalty at that facility by spending the time there, getting to know the members and their preferences, and just being a face of the brand there on site to support the event.
Correct, because it works both ways. If you're placing orders with that brand, the expectation should be that that brand is going to support your operation and come
Mhm.
in and check on you and see
Mhm.
what's selling, what's not selling, and really support the golf shop.
Mhm. Absolutely. It's a partnership. It's more than a transaction, so for sure. So, Boca West is really known and recognized for delivering a truly luxury shopping experience. What things do you do in the golf shop to make sure it reflects the same level of excellence of all the world-class amenities you have on site? So, what kind of do you do to elevate the shop and keep it at that high level of your entire facility?
So we treat the golf shop at the same level of importance as our food and beverage operation and every other amenity at the club. The golf shop is definitely not an afterthought. Like I said before, we definitely treat this as a business. Our retail department has its own budget that's created and followed throughout the fiscal year. And just as a catering event and the table settings are important for food and beverage, the presentation of the golf shop is equally as important. That starts obviously from a visual presentation point of view and merchandising and creating beautiful eye-catching displays. Everything in the golf shop is paper folded and presented. Everything in the golf shop is presented in order to reflect that luxury experience that you see elsewhere at the club.
Mhm.
So that starts with the visual presentation of the golf shop. And that always goes back to staff training and merchandising standards that we implement on a daily basis. And the staff is trained vigorously in merchandising, because obviously the presentation of your shop dictates. You're gonna have to edit this whole part out. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
The golf shop, I always say the golf shop is your welcome mat of the facility. And obviously, the golf shop could be a member or guest first impression when they walk through your door. So obviously, the golf shop always has to look visually beautiful and eye-catching. And the members come in and they always comment that our shop looks like a department store. Obviously, it's a very large shop, but the way we merchandise is very consistent throughout the shop. Since our shop is approximately 5,000 square feet, the challenge was, if we have 16 people on our retail staff, let's make sure that everybody is merchandising the same way, because the last thing we want is for people to be merchandising and creating completely different looking displays. We try to create uniformity and consistency across the board when we implement our merchandising standards and train our staff in merchandising. And that starts from paper folding to even wrapping up a purchase to creating, we're very clear on how to create a nesting table display, wall displays. However, we do allow, obviously, the staff, and we encourage our staff to be creative in the presentation of the shop.
Hmm. Definitely. I think that's a great point, especially with a larger square footage. It'd be very easy for things to look different in other areas of the shop, but that consistency and kind of an even playing field of merchandising will only elevate things and help it feel like a consistent experience. And I think that's a great comparison to a department store. I think of a lot of golf shops are like getting to run your own mini department store, and the various departments should be merchandised and given the same care as everything else. So for sure. And go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt, but I was just going to say it could be as simple as two people could be creating a nesting table display.
Hmm.
And if those two people have different folding styles,
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
display is not going to look uniform.
Yeah.
So that's a perfect example of why we do this. So that if two people are paper folding a Peter Millar display, for example, all the paper folds are going to look the same and the logos are going to line up the same.
Hmm.
And it definitely helps us out with when creating our displays for our merchandise.
Absolutely, yes. I know some folks visually, that's like their pet peeve is when things are all folded different. So definitely,
Yeah.
I like the folding standards. Terrific. And I know you mentioned your merchandising standards, and I know you all have a manual that goes with that. Can you tell us a little bit about that? And I believe you transitioned to some video training, which I think is awesome. Can you tell us a little bit about that piece and how you moved from a manual to videos?
Yes. So originally our merchandising standards was a manual. It was actually a small book with pictures and very clear instructions on how to do everything in the Boca West retail department. It was very effective. However, I think as technology has changed over the years and everyone has different learning styles, creating videos to train the staff on our merchandising standards has been much more effective at engaging the employee. When a new employee arrives at Boca West, the last thing they want to do is go through an employee handbook and have to read every single page and sign off on it. It's much
Mhm.
more exciting to have the employee be able to watch videos on how to paper fold or handle a challenging situation in the golf shop or how to run a trunk show.
Mhm.
And we actually have the staff, our current staff, create these videos, which allows them to really understand what they're doing and teaches them how to train other employees as well. It's been really effective creating these videos for our new staff members. And it's a great way for current staff members to be able to go back and refresh on what our merchandising standards are as well.
Mhm. That's awesome getting the support from the current employees to be a part of that and supported and demonstrated and a refresher if it's been a while maybe since they've reviewed the manual themselves. That's awesome. I love the idea of videos, and so many of those things you mentioned lend themselves to the visual aspect, especially paper folding or visual display type of things. Much easier to explain in a video than pictures and text alone. So that's wonderful. So, along those same lines, I know you have a daily directives and merchandising checklist that seem to have been a game changer for your retail efficiency. Can you walk us through those tools and how they're used in the day-to-day operation?
So every day when we all arrive to work, we all have a plan on what needs to get done for the day. And because our staff is so large, our operation is large, and we have a very large membership with close
Mhm.
to 7,000 members,
Oh.
everybody needs to be very clear on what the goal is for the day. We came up with the idea of having daily directives. Each staff member has a daily directive that they're given at the start of their shift, and it's very clear on exactly what needs to get done. It could be anything from prepping for an upcoming trunk show, cleaning out the stock room, running a personal shopping experience with one of our members, to unpacking merchandise. You name it, it could be anything, but it gives the staff a clear purpose for the day. And also, the most important part, it holds them accountable for what we expect them to do.
So is that assigned by yourself, or do other leaders on the team? Is it down the chain of command of how those are structured and distributed, so to speak?
Yes, I'll sometimes assign them, but my managers will also assign them. And they've been extremely effective at ensuring everything gets done. We
Mhm.
have a lot going on here at Boca West, and we have a lot of retail programming and events for our members.
Or
So it's very important that we stay on task and organized and that we don't allow things to fall through the cracks. Um, and like I said, that daily directive, some days we'll start with a clear purpose of exactly what needs to get done. And obviously there's many curveballs that are thrown at us on a daily basis. So it's okay if those things aren't accomplished for the day, but it still
right.
keeps everybody on track and everyone's moving in the same direction as well.
Hmm. That's great. And I'd imagine it would help folks maybe get exposed to something that they're maybe less familiar with, or that would maybe a task they maybe wouldn't necessarily be the first to volunteer for. And maybe they would discover, I find maybe that's a way someone would discover something that interests them for their career that they might not have had any interest in trunk shows, but maybe if they're helping with a trunk show, they discover they enjoy them or something of that nature.
Exactly. It really gets every single staff person involved
Mhm.
and they love it. And like I said, we are a large operation, so maybe many other golf shops probably do not need daily directives with their staff, but for us, it really works well.
Sure, and maybe somewhere smaller, maybe it's a weekly directive or something like that instead of daily and take it down a step. I think it could definitely
Exactly.
be adjusted. You mentioned your personal shopping experiences that you do for your members. Can you tell us a little bit about that and what the experience is and what it entails?
So just like many other golf shops, we offer complimentary personal shopping with our members. And members are able to set an appointment with myself or anybody on our staff, whoever they prefer to work with. And we sit down with the members and go through their favorite lines, what their sizes are, what their preferences are for color and fit. And then ahead of time, we pull everything that we think might work with that member. We have the member comes in, we invite them into the fitting room, and we just go through a personal shopping experience where we have them try on different brands and different fits. And a lot of times it really gets the members out of their comfort zones and opens them up to new brands that we carry in the shop. One of our challenges is because we are so large, we carry so many different brands. We could have over 30 different ladies brands at a time here in the golf shop. And it can be very overwhelming for a new member to come in and see all these different brands, especially if they're a new golfer, because they
Sure.
don't know what to wear on the golf course. It's just very overwhelming for some members when they come in. So it's nice for us to spend that one-on-one time with them and get to know the member and really, like I said, open their eyes up to the different brands that are out there. There's so many different options available to golfers nowadays, from different sport lengths to colors to fits. And I think it's really important to spend that one-on-one time with them. And it not only educates the staff on what we carry in the shop, but it really educates the members. And really, our personal shopping experiences, we don't even expect them necessarily to make a purchase. Obviously, we'd love for them to make a purchase, but at the end of the day, it's that member service that we offer and educating them about the golf apparel world and the different options available to them.
Mhm. Amazing opportunity for a new member. Not only if they're overwhelmed, maybe they're a new golfer and really just need help getting started on the fit and different types of brands and all of that, and understanding maybe what's appropriate to wear on the golf course, what's not, but also maybe to get to know the staff as well too, especially for a new member. That seems like a great way if they're working one-on-one with a member of the retail team to forge that relationship, and then hopefully they'll return again and again to work with you all.
And obviously, every time a member comes in, we treat it as a personal shopping experience.
Mhm.
But in this case, that's when the member actually makes an appointment and we carve out that time. It could be 30 minutes, it could be an hour, however long it takes, whatever the member is comfortable with. But you're right, it's a wonderful way for us to engage the member and get to know them, especially as we have all these new members joining the club.
Absolutely. That's amazing service. As we wrap up here, what advice would you give to other AGM merchandisers and retailers at private facilities who are really looking to elevate their operations and stand out in 2025?
I would say learn everything you can about the golf business and the golf retail business. Network with fellow buyers in your area and visit other golf shops. I think it's really important to tour around your area and get to know the other buyers and take a look at the different shops. I always say we are all the same, but we are vastly different. So no two golf shops will ever be exactly the same. But I think it's a great way to gain inspiration on different brands that you could carry, different ways of displaying merchandise. Every club has different retail programming for their members. So I think it's my biggest piece of advice is learn everything possible about the business, networking with fellow professionals, get to know the merchandisers in your area, fellow AGM members, get to know PGA professionals in your area. And I think I always say the more the better you can be.
Absolutely. And I love the idea of touring other shops, other clubs in your area, even if it's more, you're more of a golf club and somewhere's more of a country club with more tennis, go check out their shop. I think anything in your area or that you're able to visit, even if you think it might not apply to you, you never know what you might find or discover. So definitely be open to visiting other shops. That's great.
Exactly. We tour public golf shops, private golf shops, and as well as resort golf
Mm-hmm.
shops. You can gain inspiration anywhere.
Absolutely. Even in mainstream retail, even looking at like high-end luxury or high-end boutique type of retailers, I think is as well to not be afraid to look outside of golf as well. I think that about wraps up for today. Thank you so much, Emily, for joining us for this conversation. It was terrific to learn a little bit more about you and about Boca West and all the amazing programs you have going on for your members at Boca West. So thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you everyone for tuning in to another episode of the Fairway to Retail Success. We appreciate you taking the time to listen and hope to see you again soon on a future episode. Take care, everyone.